So picture this with me, right? One day I hope that nobody has to say the following things to you. Maybe you've heard it as well in the clinic. Adrian, the shoulder I give up. I have bad knees. I can't pick up my baby because my back hurts. I'm bone on bone, I'm falling apart. Okay, you see those patients that come in all the time, they're discouraged, they have nowhere to look for. That's something that I hope in one day we will have here all the time. Okay? People give up stuff like, I used to be a runner, I used to be a dancer, I used to do this and that. So I hope that one day we can prevent those quotes. Call me an extreme optimist, but that's what I hope to see. So let's change gears. Did you guys know, as far as U.S. healthcare costs, cancer, we spend about $90 billion. You know what's second to that? Chronic low back pain. It's about $88 billion that we spend in chronic low back pain. So just keep that in mind. I'll come back to that point. So why do you think you ignored your pain for so long? Why do you think it took a couple friends or a couple people and one friend to really motivate you to get some help for your knees? What do you think it was that helped you muscle through the pain?
Maybe some of it had to do with that, maybe being from Texas and that kind of will of like, you know, you just kind of, I mean, part of that could be some of that character a bit. I mean, I grew up with, are you throwing up now? If you're not throwing up now, you're going to school. You know, so you just kind of push through it. I think I was also a little bit of, I do think there was some kind of shame involved too. Like, you know, you don't want to admit something hurts that bad. And I remember too when the doctor said to me, like I had to say it to her a couple of times, like you have to say, this doesn't feel good. And she went, oh, I just saw you get up from the chair. Or we passed in the hall or something after I had gone. I was waiting for the x-ray or something like that. And she said, I watched you get up. I didn't realize you were in so much pain. And that was like almost embarrassing. But then also, I think when you finally admit it, like, yeah, I go, wow, I have compensated and it does hurt. I just didn't want it to be. It was the denial. It was huge. I just didn't want to admit.
Go back to cancer topic. Is anybody ashamed or embarrassed about cancer? No. Some of the toughest people that I know, I mean, we could talk more, but some of the toughest people I've met, when I treat them for post-cancer, they've grown out of the experience, okay? There's all this denial, there's sadness, there's a lot of emotions. But what are the campaigns that you see on the subway if you're in New York City? Stand up to cancer, live strong, okay? It's disappointingly, but live strong campaign. It's like this empowerment for cancer, a deadly disease, a life-threatening disease. I agree with that. But pain, it's threatening to a lot of your livelihood. Quality of life, okay? It can ruin your job, okay? It costs a lot of money. It can kill your finances, kill your relationships. You know, when I give my comment, I said, have you ever had a headache? You know how miserable you become? You know how unproductive you become? And just that's one day of a headache, and you become miserable. Imagine that lasting for years and years and years. It'll affect something around your life, your livelihood, whether it's your relationship with your spouse, your kids, your job, your finances. So with cancer, it just seems like there's such an empowerment that no one's really ashamed. People are helping each other. People buzz their heads for each other when they find out a relative has cancer. With pain, it seems like there's a bit of a shame and embarrassment to admit it. Okay? In the performing arts field, I was performing arts in college, and I danced, I performed, and then also reading some research during when I was in one of my courses, talking about how a lot of times dancers don't admit their pain. Don't lie to get on stage so they get the part. Okay? There's a shame, there's embarrassment, there's also a career choice they have to make. But I think my job is through video to show that there has to be a change in that. Let's reduce the amount of shame or the amount of embarrassment that people feel just because they have pain. Be proactive about it. Okay? Change the way you view pain. Yeah, my knee has been bothering for about a week. No, let me go get it checked out. Okay? As opposed to the shame of waiting for long enough for 10 years, that when you have a 7-year-old son who wants to play basketball with you, you have to give up playing basketball with them, 20 minutes early because your back is giving you out. So if we can change the way that we view pain and liken it to someone's cancer, okay, then I feel like there'll be a lot of solutions to our pain epidemic currently going on.